back and forth. You were saying that you thought that God created men and women equally.
No, I said God created men and women, not equals. We're not equals, absolutely not. But he did create us, both of us. So we're either, I feel like we're supposed to be a team in some sort of way.
Well, team implies what?
Not equality. In a team setting, no one is an equal. There's people have positions in a team setting.
Okay, so you would say that the man's the head of the family.
He should. I would like my man to be the head of my family, and I would like to support him in however way I can.
Do you think that men should be the head of the family?
I think every relationship has a different dynamic, but me personally, I want my man to be the head of my family, yes.
Okay, so I'll grant that every single relationship has a different dynamic.
They do.
Would you say, though, that generally it's a better idea if the man is
agree.
at the head?
Yes, I think the dynamic is much more better from my experience when I see my friends who are married.
Mm-hmm.
The dynamic is typically better when, yes.
Yeah, and should women be submissive to their men?
Absolutely, but you gotta, you don't want to be submissive to, just anything, you gotta be,
Well, no, that wouldn't be your man. You would be submissive to your man, right?
Yeah, but this man that I'm submissive to, there's everyone should have standards and, should have their standards. And it's that's what you should be.
So what standard does a man have to meet for you to be submissive to him?
For me, a big one is mainly a provider.
Mm-hmm. Money?
Money is a big factor because, we have access to a lot of things. If I have kids, I want to make sure that they go to good schools and we have a nice home and we live in a nice neighborhood, things like that.
So if he meets the material conditions.
That and also communication, because along the way of our relationship, there will be, things that we need to overcome and misunderstandings and different points of views. So important for us to we're solution oriented and not so much stuck on this, I'm right, you're wrong. It's more this is the issue. And
but what if he says he's right and you're wrong?
I'll let him have it, and then maybe when he calms down, I'll revisit.
That's that's awful benevolent of you to let him have it.
It depends what the heat of the moment is, but I will.
It doesn't sound very submissive. I mean, you're gonna go bother him again in an hour? You're like, okay, fine, and then you're gonna come back in an hour and be like, but after having thought about this in my bedroom, I got more and more upset and felt like I needed to bring it back to you.
Look, it all depends on what it is. Some things I'm willing to okay, whatever. It's not I'm not sure. It depends really on the argument and what it is. You know what I mean?
So here's why I'm asking. Let me just cut right to the chase.
Yeah.
I don't believe when most women say that they want to be submissive that they're telling the truth.
Why?
I think that because I don't believe that what they consider submission to be, I think that they consider it another form of partnership or equality. So I'll submit as long as you meet X, Y, Z conditions. So for instance,
right, well,
hang on. You said material conditions are important.
For me, yes.
So you get married to a guy who makes $500,000 a year. He gives you a wonderful life. He gets sick.
Okay.
Like my dad did. He gets multiple sclerosis. Okay. And now he's messed up. Is he still the head of the family even if you're the breadwinner?
I mean, he's my partner. I married him. It wasn't his fault that he got sick.
It's true. But is he the head of the family even if you're the breadwinner?
In my eyes, he is.
Yeah.
I would be like, kids, respect your father. He's
No.
still your dad.
He says, I make all the decisions, and you're going to follow those decisions.
Well, I think decisions in the household, it's a two-parent household. What decisions are being made? I think if you respect...
Well, that's not submission.
If you respect your partner, look, submissive is not a slave. Let's be clear.
What is it?
Submissive is to me, if your man, look, if we have gender roles, if we are both doing our part, in a way, a man submits to a woman, a woman submits to a man.
No, a man doesn't submit to a woman. How does a man submit to a woman?
Because your woman will have certain wishes that she wants you to grant or things she wants you to do. Let's say, throw out the trash or be home by dinner at this time or, help me with this, help me with that. Or
sounds like equality.
Or provide. That's not equality because, she's not.
Well, if you're saying he has to submit under XYZ role. You have to submit under XYZ role. It sounds like it's a partnership.
Look, yes, we are partners.
Oh, that's not equal.
Partners are
that's
not equal.
They're not? You have a lesser equality to your husband?
No, I deserve respect.
Well, that confuses me.
Okay.
Are you equal or are you not equal to your
Equal
husband?
in we're not equal because you're a man, I'm a woman. We deserve equal respect, but we both have
So
different
equal dignity
roles.
as human beings, sure.
We have different roles in this relationship dynamic. You're a father, you're a husband, I'm a wife, I'm a
So
mother.
what's his role if he's sick, right?
he's
And he can't
sick,
work and you have to provide. And he
then-
says this. Hang
then
on.
I'll
He
do
says
it.
this. He says this. When you come home, you're going to give me all the money. And I'm going to put the money in where I see fit, right? That's where it's going to go.
Well,
and hang on. Let me finish.
Yeah.
And you disagree with what he's doing with that money, and you're making it.
Why would I disagree? I would trust. I mean, like,
Because you do. You think he's spending it unwisely.
So in this scenario, I disagree with him. I would express that. Look, I don't think it's a smart decision. And you know, if you want to that's the thing. Like, it's not an argument. It's like this is what's the problem. Like, let's solve it. So it's not about me being right
And
or
he
you
says,
being
okay,
right.
let's solve it. We're going to do this, and that's it.
Well, that wouldn't be my partner.
Oh,
because
right.
my partner's not stuck on.
Because
My partner's not stuck on
You
having
must
his
respect
way.
me first,
Right,
Andrew.
right. So
first.
when you
No.
boil
Well,
it down,
we both deserve respect.
when
How
you-
would you like it if I came home and I'm like, no, we're only doing this, and what I say
well,
goes?
if I was the
don't-
one advocating that I was submissive, that would be my expectation.
Look, in a
is that I come home
relationship-
and submit.
in a relationship, we both submit at certain different times of the day.
Equality.
Like, it's not equality.
Oh, really? It
you
sounds like
know.
equality.
Okay,
It sounds
what
like
is
with
equality to
flowery.
you? What's equality to you?
So for me, it would be a kind of utilitarian aspect of egalitarianism, which would mean that you think that you are equal to your husband.
I'm not, though. So
Then why
what's
is it
the
then if he says
misunderstanding?
this is the way it is, you say
I wouldn't argue
that would
with
not be
him.
my partner who said that to me. If I thought he was using that money irresponsibly, I thought so.
So what would you do if your wife was misusing your money? Like, you know, you're not
Oh,
gonna
I would
have
take the
an
money away from her.
You're not. So I'm not gonna take anything away from my husband. Like,
Well, then if he says that's the way it is, you should say what?
well, then that's the way it is. But
Well,
like,
then how come earlier you said that would not be my partner
because
then?
my partner would allow me to like express myself and have my
Why
views.
should he allow you to express yourself if he's already made the decision? If he says no,
Because some decisions require two people.
which ones?
And some decisions you want your partner's input.
Which decision requires two people?
It doesn't. I don't have. Have you ever been married or in a relationship?
Let's assume I haven't.
Okay.
tell.
Well.
You
Okay.
can tell?
Whether you have or you
I
haven't.
thought you might.
I have a question. Whether you have or you haven't, have you owned a business with someone else?
Let's assume I haven't.
Have you played a sport with someone else?
Let's assume I haven't. Can you get to the argument?
My argument is that in all these things, you need to consult with the people you're working with, or
Consult.
Yeah.
Now, if you're a coach in a team, when you go to consult with your players, can you do things like, say, run a bunch of fucking laps? And if you don't, you're off the team.
I don't know. I'm not a coach.
Then why'd you bring it up as an example?
Because when you're in
Why
a-
did you ask me?
Because I'm talking about
Wait,
team-
what the fuck?
I'm
You
talking
just
about-
asked me. You were
I'm
like,
talking
have you ever
about
been on a
team
team?
setting.
And I give you a team analogy, and you're like,
talking
I have
about-
no idea.
Right, you're talking about, okay, I'm talking about team setting, as in team player with team player. You're talking about the coach. I think, I'm not a coach. I don't know. But in a team setting, like a relationship is, because it is a partnership. You get married as a partnership.
And your submission comes in as what?
As respect for my husband.
Yeah, but what does that mean? I just gave you a scenario
Right.
in which your husband says, from your perspective, he's not respecting you. From your perspective,
No,
he's
you're
saying,
saying-
hang on, it's baked into the hypothetical. Just listen. Don't move it.
why
Hang
is
on.
the
Don't move.
why
Don't
is
move
the
ahead because it's
hypothetical
designed
always
to test your
negative?
logic.
Why is hypothetical always negative?
Hypotheticals aren't always negative. It's just designed to test your logic, so we
Okay.
can see where you end up.
Okay, cool.
This guy's making decisions you don't agree with, and he's taking your money, which you're earning, and he's sick. And you say, I don't agree with the decisions, and he says, listen, that's too bad. I have the last word on this. What happens?
Look, I don't know, because I've never been in that situation. I just trust that the man I end up with, I have good judgment of character. And, when people are sick, they're not themselves. I don't know.
Yeah, so I think I understand you say you don't know.
I don't
right?
know,
But
yeah.
from my perspective, submission. People who actually say, I submit to my husband, in that situation, they submit.
It's not again so much about being right or wrong.
That's right.
I think it's more about like, this is the problem, let's solve it. So that is,
Yeah, but what if he says it's not a problem? I've already solved it. Now go
okay,
away.
Then I trust him.
Now
then
go
I
to your
trust
room.
him.
Now
I
go to your
wouldn't-
room.
Look, if it's solved, if my husband wouldn't speak to me that way. That's
Why
the
not?
Thing. Because there's respect. Because when you respect
That's
your
not-
partner,
If you're questioning him, you're not respecting him.
I'm not questioning him.
Well, then why did he send you to your room?
You're saying
No, she's mad. She's about Chris saying go leave, bitch. He didn't. And just to clarify, Chris said leave bitch. That's not what he said.
No, I didn't say that.
Yeah, he didn't say that. So disregard Chris.
No. I
But
didn't
in your
say that.
story, I'm disagreeing with my husband.
Right.
I would I'm not really like a disagreeable person because I trust the man I'm with.
What are you doing right now?
No,
right now, man?
No, he wants to debate and argue. I'm not, so I'm standing my ground on my point of view.
Okay.
And
I'll just end it like this then. Maybe we can find some common ground.
maybe we could.
So, in the situation then, if your husband, from your perspective, gets sick,
yes,
right, and it's terrible, but all of his faculties are intact, right, and he says, now you're going to go work. When you get home, I'm going to take the money, I'm going to apply it to the household how I see fit, even if you don't like it.
I trust him.
And
I
you
would say
agree
yes.
that women should do so.
I trust him, so I
Yeah,
would,
no, but
I
you
would say
agree
yes.
women should do so if they're married.
I mean, it's your kingdom. Yeah, you cooperate. Like, you know what I mean? It's more than just about you. It's about your family and you guys. Everybody has different values. So, like, for me, like, I trust him. If he's intact, yeah, he's sick. Like, okay, now it's my turn.
And you think most women should?
I think if you value that relationship and you want it to last a long time and last, then yeah,
Then
do your
okay.
end. Do
Perfect.
your end.
Well, then we find some agreement. So women should submit to their husbands.
Yeah.
Even under circumstances where they take all the money while they're sick and make decisions the woman does not agree with.
Well, if
that's true,
if it was reversed,
can you tell her that?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
but
she
she
doesn't
agrees.
count
No.
when you cheat. Ahora,
No, but her.
if you cheat
Mira,
on her, it
mira,
doesn't count.
mira.
I will say something about her situation. I'm a woman that also, it's like, look, I'm a nurturer. I'm a great woman. I'm an entrepreneur. I have a lot of great qualities. I don't want to compete with men. I don't want to be a man. I want to be a woman. And I want my man to take the lead. But in certain situations, when you're being disrespected, it's like we deserve respect mutually. If I don't know what you said to her earlier.
Who determines what's respect?
Well, I think your values really determine like how, and communicating like, hey, this makes me feel this. Like, if you call me a bitch, I'm going to be like, hey, babe, like when you use the word bitch, like that's disrespectful. It's derogatory. It makes me feel this way. Like, please don't use it again.
Yeah, that's fair.
And if you keep
You're talking about dignity.
Well, respect.
Human dignity.
Respect, I feel like kind of goes under that as well. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, hang on.
we're not.
It's hard. It's hard to define this term because it's subjective.
Absolutely.
What could be respect to you could be disrespect to somebody else.
Absolutely.
We agree that that's true, right?
Yeah, like some girls are
So
okay with
don't
being
you have
called
to have a
bitch.
head who tells you what is respect and what is disrespect then?
Well, the thing is,
Since it's a subjective metric?
The thing is, we all have a head. We all grew up in a household, and we all were experienced to the world as it is, and so we all have our beliefs and our values,
Yeah,
right?
but who is the ultimate decision maker in the family?
But what does that have to do with respect?
Because I want to know who determines what respect is in the family. You or him?
We both did before
You
we
both do.
we both came into that. Before you get to marriage, I think there's a baseline understanding of like what is respect. You know what I mean? Like you've already been through that kind of.
Yeah, but people change.
Absolutely, people
Especially
change.
over time, right?
People change, yeah, and not everyone can withstand changes. Every relationship.
So how would a
unique.
wife know if she was being a bitch unless her husband told her?
You got to be called out on your shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And sometimes
And you got to submit to his judgment, don't you?
Sometimes you deserve
If he
a bitch
says you're
wife.
being a stupid bitch, you got to submit and say yes.
No.
Do you
you're
talk
right.
to your mother like that? Do you talk to your mother
My
like
mom
that?
would completely 100% agree with me when I say
She's a
if
stupid
there
bitch.
has to be an arbiter inside of a relationship
call
who
your
makes
mom
the,
a stupid bitch?
That's not what I said. Again,
So would you
just
let your
said
dad call
I-
her a stupid bitch?
my dad can do whatever the hell he wants. He's the head of the family.
So you would allow him to disrespect your
What?
mother.
It's the head of the family?
There's a different way to say, like, hey, Sharon, I don't think you know what you're saying is, but Sharon, you're a stupid bitch. And that's your mother. That's okay with you.
Okay. Brings me back to the question. Who determines inside of the household and the relationship?
We both do. It's a partnership.
You both do.
Yes.
Right. It's
a
equality.
Look, you call it equality, I call it respect.
Well,
I call it a partnership.
If there's not one person,
I can name
if
it
there's
that.
not one person who is the arbiter, the tiebreaker, the person who ultimately makes the decision, then it's equal.
Yes, there are times where he will, and sometimes, maybe never. I won't ever. I won't need to because I trust him.
Okay.
Because he will always know what to do. But you as a man, with all that pressure that life, gives you, do you always know what to do? Do you always know what's right?
Let's assume that I don't know anything, and I'm making all of the wrong choices. Hang on. I'm making all the wrong choices. Who's the head of the family?
If you're making all the wrong choices, you're probably not married, honey.
Assuming I'm not.
You're probably not.
Assuming I'm not.
Or you won't stay married for long if you're making all the wrong choices.
Assuming I'm not, and I'm going to get divorced tomorrow. If I was, answer my question.
What is it?
Well, you have to stop talking long enough for me to ask it.
But there is one.
So
there is one more thing.
Hang on. We'll get to you. So back over to this, right? Ultimately, somebody has to be the decider.
Yes, but in different scenarios, if it's a partnership, the man can take the lead. The woman can, sometimes you as a man are going to be like, that's a good idea, baby. Let's fucking do that.
Sure, you can give input, but what if he says, I don't care?
Yep.
Okay, then he says that. Like,
and then,
what do you want me to argue? There's nothing for me to argue. Then he says that.
And then you close your mouth and you say nothing, right?
I will probably say nothing, or it depends what's happening. You know what I mean? What the situation
Just out of
is.
curiosity, just so we can get a litmus test on the table, how many of you agree with her that equal partnership in a relationship?
It's
how
not
many of you
equal.
agree?
It's not equal.
Can I say something?
But you're making equal arguments.
I'm talking about respect. No, I'm not talking about men and women are not equals. There's a role everyone plays.
Okay, but can I say something? Like, let's say we are Latin women and we are raised with some beliefs. What? So we are really different than.
We already submissive.
Real fast.
We already
real fast.
submissive.
Just so I get an idea of the table. How many of you guys agree with her? Raise of hands.
Say it again about what?
Yes, she does.
I mean, you guys have been listening. I mean, did you agree with her stance on things?
I agree. Yeah.
You agree? Okay. One?
Only two.
Two?
I agree, yeah.
Okay, you agree. What about you? You don't agree with her? She's been saying a lot of the same things you kind of said.
Yeah, but I don't think the same.
Some of the things I agree.
I'm confused.
Yeah, because I'm a team woman, I'm a team man at the same time. It just when the disrespect comes, like
Disrespect.
yeah, in disrespect, cheating and shit like that, I don't tolerate that. If you respect
There was no discussion about cheating, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
No, because she says something about equal, like this talk. Like if he says something, I'm agree with him because we are partnered. We are like a team, right?
so you
can
also
do
agree with
that.
the equality
yes,
then, the
that,
team.
Yes.
So then you
Yes.
agree that you are
Of
equal.
course,
Okay,
yeah.
so that's three of you that agree.
Yeah.
Three. Okay, cool. And do you guys not agree that equal?
I feel
Not that
like
they're
being a team
equal,
player is
but-
not necessarily being equal. I think you guys want to just
Like
make
a
it.
partnership.
Yeah, it's a partnership.
Make things work.
Well, yeah, if you're a team player, that means you're on the same team and you
Right.
are at the same level.
Right.
Not really. Not
Okay.
all
But we're
teams
not
are, like,
equals.
equal. There's one that's like higher than the other. You
So
know what
he's
I mean?
bringing up the argument coach and player.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
He made a distinguishing
Yeah.
with coach, and you guys don't agree with
The
that. So
thing
then you
is-
think it's player.
I feel like sometimes in the relationships, sometimes you
No,
play
I feel like
coach,
my
sometimes you play.
You are listening to respond. Do you hear what he just said? Coach to player.
Right.
So if it's team player, that means you're on the same level.
Right.
So
But
equality
but
is your argument.
sometimes. Yes, but sometimes, let's say when you're watching like a team play.
All right. Selectively equal. Fair?
Yeah, I guess selectively.
Every now
like
and then.
I don't know. It's just you guys keep throwing this equal word,
Well,
and it's for me. It's
Because
like,
every time we test your logic, we come back to we're the same, we're the same, we're the same, we're the same, we're the same. Every time we
That's not what
every
I'm
time
saying.
hang on, every time we run it to its end,
that's not what I'm saying.
I understand.
though.
Here, let me steel man it.
Yeah.
Just so I can assure you that I understand what you're saying, I'll
Yeah.
steel man your argument.
Okay.
Men and women in a relationship, the man is definitely the head of the relationship.
He should
Hang
be
on,
the
hang
head
on,
of my
hang on.
relationship. Yeah.
Let me steel man it and then he can correct me. The man is the head of the relationship, right? The woman is not. We have different gender roles. Inside of those gender roles, the responsibilities of the woman are different than the responsibilities of the man, but he still ultimately is in charge. Did I get all that right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I am steel manning you correctly.
Yes.
So I do understand
Yes.
your argument.
Yeah.
So since I know now that I understand your argument, and you know that I've been listening to it this entire time, I'm explaining to you that the entailment of the logic, as I've been logically testing it, leads to equality every single time. Do you want me to walk you through how?
How? Yeah.
Yes, because from your perspective, right, you're in an emotional state with your partner. If you have a disagreement, this is an emotional state for you. So here's how you frame this. You go, yes, I would give him the money and I'd give him this, and I would definitely adhere to the things that he wants to do with the cash and the things that he wants to do with this. Well, what about disrespect? Would you adhere to what he considers to be disrespect? Oh, absolutely not. Okay. Well, wait a second. So how is he the ultimate arbiter then of the household? If when you feel emotional resistance, that's when you're going to give pushback. Why would I assume that you wouldn't give emotional resistance if he's spending the money the way you don't like, and if he's doing other things that you don't
There
like?
will be disagreements.
Right.
Yeah, like
And who's
any
the
other
ultimate arbiter?
relationship. We both are. It's a fucking partnership.
That's
honey.
right. You both are, and it's a
Yeah.
fucking partnership.
Like,
Thank you.
I'm sorry. Like he's
Comes
not.
back to the
Comes
equality.
back
Got
to it every time.
Yeah.
All
Okay.
right.
Okay,
So it does.
All right. So, all right. Okay. So, what about you? Did you said you want to say something, or did you want to say something, Columbia?
Oh, me?
Guys, chime in. Yeah.
Yeah,
chime in.
ladies, feel
What
free
do
to
you call
chime in.
this?
I will be the last.
Yes,
Okay.
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
Sure. Go ahead.
I feel like.
Merch.
Oh, sorry.
That's fine.
I feel like
Merch.
in general, it's not equal. I feel like a man will always be top of the top, no matter what.
Okay.
I feel like just for me, but I feel like it also depends on everybody else and what they believe in. Like for me, I'm Haitian, of course. So in my culture, it's the man is right. He is the man. You as a woman back down and you need to listen to him. So it's also depending on that. But for me, I feel like if a man really loves you and he's, especially your husband, because that's a big title, he doesn't want anything bad for you.
Right.
So I feel like, and also men, people say women are emotional creatures, but I also feel like men are emotional, but they just don't show it. So I feel like a man is not going to have his wife or his partner's worst interests at heart.
Right.
Like for me, an example, like when I was with the father of my child, he would always tell me something and I would just like not want to listen. But in the end, he always ended up right. So I feel like
Merch.
it
You're
would
trying together now, then.
But that's different. You see, it's not about being right or wrong. It's about the problem and you guys trying to solve
Yeah, but
it.
who
She
determines that
just said
there's a
right.
problem?
He was right.
Yeah, all the time.
Right, but she was,
Yeah.
were you?
Yeah.
Did you not? But hold on, I have a question for you. Did you not want to give him like the right of way or agree with him just because like you were spiteful or like what is the reason? Like sometimes you gotta like in retrospect, in retrospect, you gotta look outside and be like, okay, is it my ego or am I trying to solve this problem?
Here's the thing with that, and I'm gonna answer your question. When, of course, there's gonna be disagreements, and of course, no one is always right. You know what I mean? But also, I just also stand on what I say. I feel like a man just always knows what's best for his woman.
Oh shit.
Question: looking back on how you handled it before with your ex baby daddy or baby daddy, how do you handle it now with your new man? Let's say for example you don't agree with what he's doing. How do you handle it now? Like what would you do to like you know what he takes lead? He said this. How do you handle it internally to deal with that?
Like we'll talk about it. I'll sit down and be like, babe, are you sure? Da, da, da. And then we'll handle out. I'll see his point and he see my point, and then it's okay, babe. I get it. I feel you.
There's a middle ground.
Yeah, but this is
one is combative, one
this
is
is the
more
problem, right?
submissive.
The whole problem with your argument, from your perspective, I agree. There's a middle ground, right? What I'm posing to you is when the man decides there's not a middle ground. I've decided there's no middle ground. and your feelings are dismissed, and you're wrong, and I don't give a shit. We're doing X.
Are we fucking leaving?
Right, exactly. You're fucking leaving. That's exactly right.
Divorce again. Divorce again.
That's exactly right.
I'm not saying I'm leaving.
That's it. Bye with you.
Andrew.
Okay. Did you have a question for one of the other girls?
Yeah. Well, actually, this was a really good take. So you said, and this is more of an anti-feminist take, right? So you said, look, in retrospect, I wish I had listened more, right?
Yeah.
And if you could go back and you had listened, would you still be with him?
Yeah.
Would he still? Would there have ever even been the problems that there was that led to that ending?
No, if I listened, there wouldn't.
So
be
all
no
you had to do was
problems.
what?
Listen.
Submit.
Shut up.
Submit. That's it. Just had to submit. Well, this is the purview. People will say these ridiculous things. I say, submission is slavery. That's insane. Every time you get in the back of a taxi cab, you're submitting. You're putting everything in somebody else's hands to get you from point A to point B. You submit to complete strangers, but you won't submit to your own men. It's that to me is insane. Same thing. Get on an airplane. You don't meet the pilot. You don't know the pilot. You don't know his background. You don't know shit. You just expect that this large corporation that sees you as a number, doesn't give a shit about you, is going to get you from point A to point B, but you won't submit to your own. That's insanity to me.
I do have a question.
I also feel
even
like
your boss, like
sorry.
you go to work every single day. Your boss says X, Y, Z. You don't say, you know what? I don't like that. What about this? And your boss is like, I don't know. It's going this way. You can get fired.
Not only that, they'll wear a uniform to their job and wear what they say, but then you tell her, hey, I don't like the way you're going out. Oh, well, you can't. I'm wear what I want. Why are you so insecure? Anyway, but sorry. Okay, you had a question for him? Go ahead, please.
Yeah, so how do you feel if you were submitting to someone and you gave them a period of time to submit to them, and you saw that they were allowing things to go out of hand? Like if you were submitting to a pilot and you saw that he was not flying the plane correctly and you were going to fucking die.
Sure, I would. Yeah, I would do something about it immediately.
So in terms of that, like what would that mean for a woman submitting to a man in a relationship?
So we're under the pretext here that you're married.
Okay.
You have taken a vow.
Yeah.
And what does the vow say?
What does the vow say?
You tell me. I'm the one who's not married, remember?
I didn't
You're also
say
a
you
former
were.
pastor. You should know this.
I asked.
You have to be there in
pastor.
sickness,
You're going to
Pastor
be there
Linwood?
through, hang on, through what?
sickness,
And in health?
poverty, and health. No matter what.
Well, she
Yeah.
knows it because it's been 3
And you
times.
still
Right.
left 3 times, nigga.
Now, here's the other thing. Here's how a marriage is actually set up. It's a representation. It works like this. The man is the head, just like Christ is the head of the church. Just like we submit, the men submit to Jesus Christ, who is the Lord and Savior, right? He is in that representation role for the church.
Okay.
This is your pastoral beliefs, by the way, as well. Or at least it was.
I'm just listening.
Okay, so anyway, he's the head of the church. The body of the church is represented by women, okay, by the woman. That's the body. The body submits to Christ, and the man acts as the head, which is as Christ. Okay, so that is the submission process inside of a religious
Can
marriage.
a body
Hang on.
function? Can a head function without a body, though? You know, like it's like we need each other.
Hold on. Simple.
Okay, but hang on. Move your arm. Move your arm. Okay. How do you know that you moved your arm?
How do you know that? What part? Like
Answer the question.
What? Okay. What do you mean?
How do you know that you just moved your arm?
Because I just did, and I showed you.
You know it because it just happened, right?
You told
Did
me
that
so.
come from your head, or did that come from your body?
Well, it could be both.
Well, okay, but where did it come from?
First.
What told the arm to move? What told the body to move?
Okay.
Because he
Now,
say that
your
to
body
you.
is comprised of arms, legs, torso, all that, right?
Right.
If your legs were gone, would you still be the body?
Yes. What do
Yes, you would
mean?
still be the body, right? You would still have a whole body.
You would still have a body. Yes.
Okay, and both your arms gone, you would still be a body?
Yes. you
Okay,
still
now
have a
feasibly,
body.
here's the last
I mean,
question.
look,
If you were removed as a head in a jar and you
Look.
still had full consciousness and no body, could
I'll
you
say
exist?
this.
Hang on. Could
I'll
you
say-
exist?
once you're
Answer. Hang on. Back up. Just let me finish.
the first
You're
thing.
a head in a jar.
Yes.
Are you still you?
I don't fucking know, but I will say this.
You don't know. So when do you stop becoming you?
Look, the moment of inception, your heart is the first thing. So you are already
So
something.
is your heart you? Because there's people who live without hearts, but I don't know anybody who lives without a brain.
I don't know anyone
Who lives without a brain?
Who lives without a heart?
Yeah, there's people who can live without a heart, sure.
So then
you
there's
can have
people
machines which pump your blood and everything
There's people that live brain dead
without
as well
a consciousness.
with
Without a consciousness, now they're a mechanism.
Okay, but now we're just getting out of like.
No, we're not. We're not. What I'm demonstrating to you. Hang on, let me just finish. What I'm demonstrating to you is that as a head, yes, you would still exist, but a body without a head cannot.
Okay.
So this is logic versus whole logic.
Yeah. You want to say something? Go ahead.
Yeah. Are there not texts that also speak on if you are living under a household that's under submission and the head of the household is not under submission under Christ and also not abiding by the rules and abiding by ordinance of your household and submitting to the household while also doing your job, you are not. You're able to leave. Like,
let me back up. I always want to really be clear on what the other person is saying before I respond. And I actually didn't understand a fucking word you just said. So can we back up and just condense the argument for me the best that you possibly can?
My theology, the way that I was taught, allowed me to learn that if I am living under someone and I'm submitting to him wholeheartedly, that he may also abide by what the church and Christ says, right?
Yes.
So if there are rules in terms of like being in a relationship and someone is cheating on you or if they are breaking the rules, are you not able to leave
Of course. But that's why a man is submitting to a church ecclesiastical authority.
Okay.
The purpose of this is to govern
But are
those.
men not human? Do they not fuck up?
Of course they do. Of course they fuck up. Of course they make mistakes. They do all that. They have an ecclesiastical authority they submit to who tells them, you're fucking up.
Yeah.
Stop it. You can't go home and beat your wife. You can't go home and do this shit
And
or
what
we're
if they
going to
continue doing
excommunicate
it
you.
anyways?
Then there's consequences.
Yes.
That's the religious marriage. There's consequences. The community ostracizes you. The community destroys you. Getting thrown out of a place where that is your community, right? That's exile. You know why humans hate exile? Because when they used to exile from a tribe, you died. It's ingrained in you. You do not want to be exiled from the group. And so, yeah, it's a serious consequence for men, but only usually for men.
So then what about people who are saying like women should not remarry, they should not be with other men after the fact? They were under submission of a man.
There are reasonable grounds to your question for getting divorced. There can be abandonment, right? There can be abuse of drugs, right? And there can be sexual infidelity. All of these are proper grounds for a divorce because what a man has done then is they've broken all of their vows, right? But where's the consequence for the woman who doesn't submit?
Preach.
But why you are so like that with the submit thing? Why are you so like the submit thing? Why you keep saying that?
I want to say something. I have a lot of friends that are married, and
can he answer her question real quick and then?
Why you always say the same thing about submit like over and over again?
Because my point is to say that I don't believe inside of Western nations where feminism is the air that you breathe and the water that you swim in, that when women say submit, I think that they're lying. Most of them are lying. I don't think that they know what it means.
What if you actually do that?
I think
and
you're right.
The men disrespect that submission and that contract that the guy fell. So because you said you're going to submit.
Good argument. Let me respond.
Can I chime in?
Sure, go ahead.
So
why are you touching him?
No, go ahead. Go ahead. You can finish.
Let that man breathe, man.
I didn't mean to cut off your argument.
No, go ahead. Continue on, Miss Columbia.
Me or her?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, yeah, you want to say finish what you're saying.
So what if you said you want to commit and you really did a job for a year, let's say, right? You really commit to the relationship and the marriage. But when it comes to drugs, sex, abortion, or let's say fights or like really bad things in front of your kids.
No.
Do you still have to commit and be submissive to your husband because
if they're creating hang on. If they are in error of sexual infidelity, things of this nature, yes, of course you have a right then to. But hang on, let me turn this over your way, right?
Let's do it.
You're just quarrelsome, and you're just arguing with him because you don't like what the fuck he's doing and he's not doing any drugs and he hasn't abandoned you and he's not there's no sexual infidelity, you still think it's okay to leave him if you don't like him anymore, right?
No, of course not. No, because if I let's
So
say,
all three of your husbands either were drug addicts or they committed sexual infidelity
Facts.
or they abandoned you.
can I say why?
Sure.
All three.
Okay, my first one, he cheated on me.
Uh-huh.
No
And
way.
yeah,
He
and
cheated on you? Really?
Yeah, and I saw in the computer in the restaurant, he was fucking the waitress.
Diablo.
Yes. The
Wait, you saw it on the
one-
computer?
Second
Yes,
one.
because I was in charge on everything, and he was maybe drunk as fuck.
Yeah.
He was
Okay.
drunk as fuck, and
So you saw a video of it?
Yes, because it was 5 a.m. He wasn't
Damn.
home yet, so I saw the video
Okay.
in live.
Okay.
That's
She
all.
feds.
That's all.
Oh, in the house.
In the restaurant.
In the restaurant.
Oh, he
My
fucked that up
second-
on the
cameras.
table, bro.
Yeah, my second marriage, I used
Okay.
to rent apartments for Airbnb, and I'm sorry guys, I don't want to
Say what
bad
you want.
things
It's
about
fine.
you. No, I don't like it. Whatever. I found him, I was 4 months pregnant with another girl in jacuzzi.
No.
Yep.
What?
I did. Yep. And my last
In the
one.
Airbnb?
My Airbnb.
Ay, Dios mío, por favor.
Exactly.
Coño, tú te puta de la madre.
Exactly. So then my
So then what about your third one?
then my third one, he was the best man. I was super submitted with him. He was the best, but he got arrested because something he did and he lied to me.
Bro, you do 100.
Okay, but hang on.
And
now
that's
let's
where
get
my point
hang
was
on, let's
gonna
get to
go.
number 3. Hang on, let's get to number 3.
Okay, let's see.
So he got arrested.
Yep. 3 years ago. 2
Okay.
years ago, I'm sorry.
But he didn't commit any of these other things, right?
Never. He was
Okay, well
loyal.
then why did you get a divorce?
Because he lied to me.
Yeah, but
Yeah, no,
lying, lying's not going
What
to
did he
fall
lie
under.
about specifically?
Why?
What did he lie about specifically?
Okay, let me tell you something.
¿Por qué?
Okay, one day I woke up at 6 a.m.
Okay.
Okay. FBI feds were in my home.
Novela.
They took everything from me.
Oh, yeah?
FBI.
Yeah, right.
Everything. And I was in the street. I don't care. It's fine.
Yeah.
Thank God that happened because that's why the woman I am right now.
Yeah, no.
So I'm glad that happened.
What did they rate him
actually.
for?
I'm sorry.
What did they rate him for?
I'm just gonna tell you later the name and you can Google it because it's huge. It's gonna be a movie about it, like in 2 years.
A novela.
Now let me
I'm
ask my
moving.
last
The
question, if you
audience is
don't
going to
mind.
find out right now.
Yeah.
My last question
They
to
already
you.
found other girls. Go ahead,
Yeah.
continue.
Did you enter into religious marriage with these men or secular marriage?
No,
Yeah,
no.
right.
But right now,
And did
let
you
me tell
think
you
that
something.
maybe
we have a chance?
maybe you have 3 of them down because you did not submit to a religious authority?
I did submit a lot, and that's my
To a
problem.
religious authority.
The 2 first ones, yes. Of course.
But you just said no. You said that none of them were religious
the
marriages.
Third one, the last one,
Yeah, to dig.
the one I say the last one, the one who's in jail right now. I didn't say the first ones. The first ones, yes, I did.
Okay,
And I was
and what
submitted with
type of religious marriage was it?
Catholic?
And how did the Catholic Church release you from your marriage?
Yes, here in Miami, of course.
The Catholic Church
Yes.
released you from your
I can
marriage.
show you the papers because
They
I have
gave you
them.
2 annulments.
Yes, I have it in my phone right now if you want me to.
They
show
gave you 2 annulments?
you. Yeah, I when you go to court, you ask for
Not
the license.
court. I didn't ask for about court.
Yeah.
The Catholic Church
Yeah.
gave you 2
yeah,
annulments.
We went to even for like they have like a class and everything for you to get married and everything. Yes, I did that for my 2 first marriages.
Okay. Maybe you're not understanding the question. You got a state certificate.
Mm-hmm.
The state married you. Okay, and then you got a divorce. You went through the state again, right?
Both of them.
Okay. What about the church? What,
It was a
what does
difference.
mean? What about the church? Did the church?
What?
Did
Yes, they allow it because I wasn't happy. Like they cheat on me. They did bad things to me.
the Catholic Church gave you 2 annulments?
Of course.
Okay.
I have it in paper if you want me to show you.
Yeah, it's just going to be state paperwork. I don't think the Catholic Church gave you 2 annulments.
It was a really, really bad situation.
Okay.
So it was very bad. It was so bad that, yeah, I
Okay.
don't want to talk about it because
right.
I'm not a victim here.
All right. Well,
it.
I don't know.
You-
Absence. Maybe they did give you 2 annulments. I don't know. But
Andrew, her new name is. What's that show called? Griselda?
Griselda.
Yes. Part